I got into this business on accident because no one falls into roofing on purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of people have this mindset or have this idea that like the top producers are flamboyant, extravagant, high energy, sleazy, do the click and the snap. They're not those people. They're really good problem solvers.
Well, how can we help make it a little simpler for somebody who's just kind of popping their head in here, wants to sell their first roof?
Yeah.
What are the first few steps to go towards this?
Yeah.
If Adam Bensman tells you to do something, you go do it, okay? So I did it. I sold the roof.
Don't do everything I tell you.
Everything he says, no matter what it is.
Try it for yourself.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast, and today I have Adam Bensman. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing very good. We're talking about selling your first roof, and I've seen a lot of your content on that because I was watching some of your content trying to sell a roof, my first roof this last year.
Which, by the way, congrats.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very excited about that. And can you just give a 1-minute background so for somebody who doesn't know you,
Sure.
Just how you got into roof sales and what you're doing now?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a lot to hit in a minute, but I'll do as best I can.
Or 2
Bensman,
minutes.
The Roof Strategist, host of the Roof Strategist YouTube channel and podcast, author of the Roofing Sales Survival Guide, best-selling book. I got into this business on accident because no one falls into roofing on purpose.
Yeah.
No one's a strong statement. The people that fall into roofing on purpose are the ones whose parents were in it. It's the only time I've ever seen it. So I drank the Kool-Aid, followed my passion, which was natural medicine, because people tell you do what you're passionate about, you'll be happy in life and make money, which is the greatest lie. So I did that. It led me to living below the poverty line. I got a job as a massage therapist at a franchise, was on site working 6-hour shifts, but only paid when I was booked, which somehow is legal. So there were times that I would work for 6 hours and make $30. And I reached my breaking point when I couldn't afford gas to drive 2 hours to see my family on Easter. Called my mom for money in my 20s as an adult, which is the worst feeling ever, and many people have probably had. And then she sent me the money over Chase QuickPay or Zelle or whatever it was at the point. And then I called her to say thanks, and my stepdad got on the phone. His name is Ron. And because my parents divorced when I was older, I didn't know much about Ron's work. I knew he was in roofing, but he's like, hey, Adam, you can make $100,000 a year selling roofs door to door. And I was like, that sounds like a lie. And that sounds like a horrible way to make a living because I know nothing about roofs. I have no sales experience, and I thought door-to-door died with Kirby. So I brushed it off, but I had 4 hours of drive time to reconsider. I reconsidered.
Yeah.
Here I am today.
It is crazy to think, if you're making $40,000 or whatever.
Yeah, I was making 19 and change.
Or whatever. Then it's very hard to imagine, right, that there's this world where a bunch of people are making $100,000. And to be real, and a lot of people are making $150,000 and more, and they're not that, just to be real, sorry to the roofing salespeople out there, but they're not always that charismatic or that crazy. No. There's a lot of people that are decent with people, and they just kind of learned roofing sales and that are making $150K plus in this day and age. And I will say, it sounds crazy, but it's true.
And more often than not, the highest earners are unassuming. So everyone that I've met that's done, let's say 350 plus, the 350 to 550,000 income range, you wouldn't know it. They're not, a lot of people have this mindset or have this idea that the top producers are flamboyant, extravagant, high energy, sleazy, do the click and the snap. They're not those people. They're really good problem solvers, and they happen to understand sales, and they're very detailed in their process and very organized because the chaos. Time is the number one limiting factor in roofing sales. You can be decent at sales and make a boatload of money, but if you can't manage your time, you're not going to go anywhere.
And you have to apply yourself, and it is a lot of work. I mean, I've been out with these roofing salespeople, and they're pretty, they're getting a lot done in a day, and it's kind of tiring. You're out in a truck or going around, and door knocking is hard, I think.
Yeah,
but
that's why most people don't do it.
You make almost more money than it is hard in certain ways because it is people don't want to do it, and then it doesn't really matter. You can continue to make more money, even though, let's say it's $80,000 hard.
Yeah.
You can make $150. It's just weird how much more money you can make than it is hard in my from what I understand. And we help people get more leads, but you help people door knock, and that's a lead generation strategy as well. I want to get into this in a second. I want to note, so I sold my first roof this year, and that morning I was watching Adam's videos, and one of them was about if somebody offers you a drink, accept the drink. What is the principle there, first of all?
Yeah. So most people, first, most seasoned salespeople know that they should accept the drink. And yet there's so many people that feel like they shouldn't, like, I'll be a burden, I don't want to. And they'll say no and they think it's being polite, which by the way isn't. But when you ask people, and I've surveyed literally thousands of people on stage just this year alone, like, why do we ask? Why do we say yes when they offer? And then you'll hear things like, it's polite, reciprocity, which is a principle of influence, which by the way is not the answer, because that means I do something nice for you, you do something nice for me.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now I owe you something.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like, that's how you build rapport, yada, yada. There's a lot, and it's all, there's some truth to all those answers, but the reality is there's a psychological principle known as consistency, that people behave in a consistent fashion. And one thing, like, do you have any, does your family watch this?
No.
Perfect. Do you have any family members that are like, you don't really quite get along with, they're kind of crazy, and then you know that they're gonna, like, let's say you call them to ask them something, and you're like, that's exactly what they're gonna say, because they're just really predictable?
Not that I can think of off the top.
How about the crazy ex?
Okay.
Okay, see that for some reason the crazy ex always really works.
Yeah.
We behave in a consistent fashion. People do. And what happens when someone does a favor for you, like offer you a drink, the psychological principle of consistency states that they'll be more likely to continue doing nice things for you. So I share a story where I went out to breakfast once. I had a not so great encounter with the hostess. She gave you that look, I hate my job, I hate my life, and I want to make damn sure you know about it. And it just wasn't like a warm and fuzzy. I go to the bathroom, come back, she ran up to me and she's like, stop. And I'm like, what? And she says, turn around. And before I could even see what was going on, she physically turned me around. And then she reached down and she picked up a 6-foot piece of toilet paper off my boot. And I was embarrassed as hell. And then she says to me, I got you, or something, that was it. And she ended up later walking up to me after I had breakfast, it was at a Hilton hotel for 4 people, it was $100 in breakfast. And I stayed at a Hilton like 80 nights this year. I never got comped $1. And she comped $100 in breakfast. And the reason she did, it wasn't because of guilt, it wasn't because she felt bad for me, it was the principle of consistency. If someone does something nice for you, they're more likely to do continual nice things for you, which is emphasized. If you haven't watched the movie The Push, P-U-S-H, go watch it, because it shows this principle in fact. So that's why we say yes, because they offered you something, they did something nice for you, they're more likely to do other nice things for you.
I will watch that movie. If Adam Bensman tells you to do something, you go do it, okay? So I did it.
Don't do everything I tell you.
Everything he says, no matter what it is.
Try it for yourself.
Yeah.
Top rep. We're doing top rep, and it's great training.
So you got to have that defined sales process. Check Toki specifically. I don't understand how people make it with a defined sales process as an established company, but just starting out, you definitely need to have that because they need to know, like, and trust you through the whole process in order to give you money.
So that day I sold this roof, and one thing I want to note here, because Dan Walrek, $18.5 million sales guy, insane. So not only he had sold them a roof apparently like 6 years previous, and there's another storm, and he sold them another roof. Yeah. And the woman gave him a hug at the end.
Yeah.
Because she was like actually like felt close with him. He's a good guy, he's very involved with the community. He gets so many referrals and whatnot. But what's so crazy to me is just the fact that not only could he sell this roof, but he could queue up a guy like me to sell this roof and like essentially like, hey, just, make it easy for him, like essentially to the homeowner. And that charisma and that level of like, people want to do nice things for him and people want to make it easy for him.
Yeah.
Because we sold $150,000 that day.
It's awesome.
Before 2 p.m., I think it was.
That's amazing.
And then at the very end of the day, it was all a cherry on top by this. And I want to get into like, what do you think it is about these high-performing salespeople that you see as principals? But the cherry on top was like a adjuster at the end of the day, a State Farm adjuster, saying, I heard it out, we just heard it, Jack and I, the camera guy, out of the corner of our ear. He's like, yeah, I've got 4 more on this road, this street for you.
Do you want me to come? Yeah, do you want to come along with me? Yeah.
And so, like, people not only wanting to close a deal with a new, fresh sales guy right there, but adjusters wanting to refer you 4 more roofs and things like that. I don't even know if that's legal, but it's so charismatic. I know that you are a person with an extreme amount of charisma. Did you learn that Did you grow that,
question.
or were you born with that?
That's a really good question. I've never been asked. Yes, to all of it.
Yeah.
I think that this goes to the nurture-nature debate, right? And I think I always got along well with people, and I was very
people?
high energy. I love people.
For real?
I do. I really do. I love people, and I like, to me, like, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on that. If you want to come back to that, we will. But I love people. I love the people I serve. Charisma is both inherent and a talent that can be nurtured via watering the seed.
Do you have to have like a seed of it, like you're decent at it and then you can grow it? Or basically, like, I guess what I'm really getting at is how do you grow it?
There's no cheat code.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to grow it is to love the people you serve. And it's the least sexy thing, and you can't gimmick it. So when you love the people you serve, some people get like, I know people that are really good at sales that are like, I just don't have the kind of energy you do. I don't have the type of, like, I'm not as bubbly as you are. And there's some people that are just like straight to the point sharpshooters, and they do really well in sales, and other people, it actually works against them. And ultimately, if you really love your customer, how you engage with them out of a true level of caring and providing of service comes across, versus many salespeople want one thing, and that's to make money. And to pay tribute to Ben Menchaca, I don't know if he coined this or if it's just a known statement, but he was the first one I heard it for the kinds of commission breath, people smelling that desire of you to make money. And I like the way he articulated that, whether it was his or he borrowed it from someone else. But people feel when you want something from them versus, and this is the definition in sales, being of service is what we should be doing, and being pushy is when we make that shift to being self-serving. So when we come into the sale of wanting the deal and wanting this, it's about us and not the customer. And as you know, the number one rule of marketing is no one gives a shit about you. Like, what's in it for me? Like, that's it. So when you, like, the guys like Dan, and I'd be curious if Dan, if you comment on this video, if you agree with this, like, the highest performers love their customers, and they're very incredible problem solvers, and they're very, very, very in tune with what that customer is thinking. Because the part that's complex about roofing sales is that if you're selling storm and retail, there's 11 different pitches that you need to know. There's 4 stages in the claims process, 7 mindsets. In a retail, there's 4 reasons people replace their roof. Put them together, that's 11. So in solar sales, for example, you show up at someone's house, you're like, hi, you have an electric bill, I make it cheaper. Like, it's one pitch, one opener, one pain point to solve, and it's money, 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 money. And in roofing, there's this wide breadth of scenarios that we're countering people in that are paired with, as you as a marketer, you're probably familiar with Eugene Schwartz, his different levels of awareness on a problem. And you have people, especially in markets that he's working, that have a very low level of awareness of their problem. You show up at a stranger's house, they have no idea their roof is damaged. So the ability to understand exactly what that prospect is thinking, so you can cater your message to them.
Give me the first couple steps. Obviously, I mean, I've sold a roof,
yeah,
but
so
some people haven't. So if I'm trying to get into this, how can we help make it a little simpler for somebody who's just kind of popping their head in here, wants to sell their first roof? What are the first few steps to go towards this?
Yeah, step 1, do role play and practice before you're on a door. Because trying to figure this out on the doorstep for the first time, you don't know what to say, creates a tremendous amount of nerves and kills your confidence, and then you screw it up, and then it kills your confidence more for the next door. So you get your pitch down. I use the SLAP method. SLAP
Do you
formula.
need to role play with somebody else who's smart?
No, you can do it with a camera.
Can you do it with your mom or your
do it with anybody,
wife?
And you can do it with no one.
Okay.
If I do it, I'll even my team, I'll have them do role play, and they actually film it themselves and send it to me, and then that way I can go through it.
Have you seen the whole thing of role playing with AI now?
I haven't, not yet.
Because you can essentially, there's ChatGPT, you can make it role play with you and
with audio or just text?
Just text.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not as good.
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll evolve to spoken in a matter of minutes.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Someone just is business idea.
Yeah.
Create
audio. Yeah. That's probably not that far away. Yeah.
I mean, all it needs to do is read the writing.
And
transcribe the verbal. How hard is that?
But
you don't need anybody.
Okay.
Film yourself, watch it back. You're your own worst critic. And tunnel vision is one of the most common things that happens with new salespeople, because the nerves are so high that when you're at the door, you'll break down with a sales rep, what went well, what didn't go well. They're like, I have no, it was deer in the headlights. They didn't capture anything.
Some people can't even set up ladders.
Yeah.
Like I was that.
Oh,
guy.
I struggle. I share that story all the time. Like my first sale.
I literally broke apart the ladder. I had my nerves.
Yeah.
Because and Dan was trying to make it so simple for me, but I would role play almost setting up a ladder and stuff like that.
Go through the whole process. Do it on your house. But yeah, getting through your pitch multiple times till you're more comfortable with it versus trying out in the real world. Step 1. Step 2 is when you get to the door, you want to be as quick as you can without rushing. Small talk goes so far, but people, when they answer the door, again, we know our customer. If you're at home, if you hear this at 6:30 at night, what are the 2 questions that come to your mind?
Can I get up on your roof? I don't know.
No, if you're the homeowner, I show up at your house. It's 6:30 at night. You had a long day.
Oh, I'm thinking,
hear this.
Fuck.
Yeah, who the hell is it? What the hell do they want?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 questions that people ask. Who the hell is it? What do they want? So if you show up and you think you're going to like buddy into them, they want those 2 questions answered. Who the hell are you and what do you want?
Yeah.
Which is why I introduce myself right out of the gate, let them know why I'm there, and then I ask an open-ended question. So to me, the SLAP formula: say hi, break the ice. If there's no natural icebreaker, don't force it. Let them know why I'm there, make it really relevant to the neighborhood. Hey, the reason I'm stopping by, I'm talking to some of the neighbors here on Lexington Lane. Hey, the reason I'm stopping by, I just got off Peggy's roof. I just talked to John. We're doing his roof next week. We did his roof last week. I'm making it relevant so it doesn't seem like I'm just a solicitor, like I'm there for a purpose. And then I'm going to ask an open-ended question. And my favorite one to ask is, where are you at in the process? And if people are like, well, what process are you talking about? Bingo, now I know from all those 11 pitches I need to use. Instantaneously, I've diagnosed the exact subset of needs for this prospect. So instead of trying to like offer a free inspection or whatever, I can't offer a free inspection to someone that thinks that the roof doesn't have damage. Because if you're offering a solution to a problem that they aren't aware of, they're going to say no instantaneously. Because like we're here at Roofing Process Conference, and there's a hall full of vendors, and you're one of them. You offer a solution, but not everyone's hiring you. Not everyone's hiring me. Because if they don't have the problem that you solve, you will never work with them.
Yeah.
So the mission that I have at the door is, and opening a sales appointment if it's an inbound lead, the fastest path to where are you at in the process, I can instantaneously, just like that, ask an open question that gets them speaking to me or with me, that's going to reveal information that I know exactly how to pitch to that person. Because I'm going to sell to someone who has no idea that the roof is damaged very differently to someone who had the insurance company out there sitting on a check. On the retail side, I'm going to sell it very differently if they're replacing the roof because it's old, it's at the end of its lifespan, which is very different than the very common lead of, hey, we're replacing our roof in 5 to 7 years and we want to start planning ahead financially to budget for it. Little do they know the price is double by then, which is also very different of I have an active leak or a problem. So my mission is to just instantaneously uncover their core situation and then be able to pitch or speak to those needs.
Contractors love the catch-all because it makes every single one of their roof builds easier and more profitable. Protective netting wraps facade and landscaping to prevent from left-behind nails and damage. Homeowner referrals bring you more jobs, and insurance supplements bring you more profits. But my favorite part, the branding.
So besides following the Roof Strategist on YouTube and watching a bunch of videos on your way to try to sell your first roof, and role playing a lot, and using the SLAP formula, what else can somebody do, like just to like prep themselves for this? I mean, it's scary.
It is scary.
Like, by the way, like it's not, we say it's easy to make 150. It's easy if you apply yourself and you get through this painful beginner's part.
This is semantics.
Yeah.
It is simple, it is not easy.
Yes.
The fundamentals are simple as hell.
It's just kind of crazy because, like, for instance, a bunch of people are working at restaurants that are charismatic and have the right personality for this, that could make 150 doing roof sales, and they don't know it yet.
There's a fable. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but it's a good fable. Fable goes that there was an ad run on Indeed that said earn $200,000 a year shoveling chicken crap. So naturally, people are like, all I gotta do is shovel chicken crap. So the applicants come flooding in. They run a group interview. They say, hey, come on in. Group interview comes in. I'm the interviewer. I say, hey guys, gals, good news. You don't have to shovel chicken crap. All you gotta do is knock doors. And everyone scrams like cockroaches. The lesson there is that this business is so simple. You show up at someone's house, you knock on the door, you start a conversation, you uncover a problem, you get them to take ownership of that problem, and then you guide them into the solution while removing all the risk and positioning you as the obvious answer. And then you have a deal. And the easiness is not there. It's simple, but it's not easy because of, as you said, the nerves, the roadblocks. The biggest fears that new people have is I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm not confident showing up at the door because I don't know what I'm going to say yet. Am I going to fumble? Am I get stuck on my words? Am I going to hit with an objection that I don't know how to overcome? And then, hey, I don't know enough about roofing. And you have to realize I sold my very first roof with absolutely zero product knowledge. And I mean zero as in like I understood drip edge, rake edge as a name and what a 3-tab and dimensional shingle was, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I was sent to the supplier to get Plasticops, which by the way, if you know what those are, you'll figure out quickly what I was sent for and it'll make sense.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I'm like, hey, do you guys have Plasticops? Like, excuse me? So, what language barrier?
Yeah.
Anyway, you have to remember if you're new that process knowledge is more important in the beginning than product knowledge. And your ability to coach someone through the process to help them identify the problem, take ownership of the problem, and then guide them to the solution, all you need to understand is the process, not as much on the product side. The product side will come, and it's important to have both at some point, but far too many people feel like I can't sell until I know all of this. But this comes through practice.
Yeah.
And I didn't know my butt from a hole in the wall when I first started, and my first deal was a commercial sale. Because I found a guy who had a problem that I could solve, and I helped make it affordable for him.
All right, I can dig it. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I want any last tips that you've gotten selling that first roof. What is a good next step for somebody after they watch this video?
Go do it, get rejected, face the fear, keep going, because it will suck. You're going to hate your job, you're going to hate your life, you're going to wonder what you signed up for, and your success will ride upon whether or not you lean into that, because only 2 out of 3 sales reps quit or get fired in their first year, and it's because they're not prepared mentally to succeed. That's why I wrote my book, by the way, Roofing Sales Survival Guide. But I would recommend you need to lean into the discomfort and do what other people aren't, because if you're not willing to do what other people aren't, you're not going to make the kind of money that most people don't.
Oof, that's good. I always thought about this when I got out of school for web design. I would say because when I got out of school, the market wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Like 50% of us got jobs.
Yeah. What year did you get out of school?
I was like 2013 or something
2013?
like that. Yeah. I thought everything that I got through though was like I was getting over speed bumps that the other people that I was competing with were getting they weren't getting over those speed bumps.
Yeah.
So the more speed bumps I got, so when I went through a problem and it was like, oh, this is freaking hard, like JavaScript, learning about these different things, it was super hard, but once I got through, it was like somebody else didn't. So I'm not like but it really helped me in that moment.
Yeah.
Like if I can get through this, and there's like other people behind me that aren't, and the competing sales reps in your area, they're getting knocked out. You know what I mean? Like if how many, did you say this stat already? If like 10...
2 out of 3 sales reps quit or get fired in their first year, which means
2 out of
there's
3.
a 33.33% success rate.
So then if you're 2 or 3 years in, you're the one left.
Yeah.
And congratulations. And I mean, basically if you can stick through it, it's a big opportunity, right?
Yeah, success is right on the other side of your last failure.
Yep. And how can people follow you or see your stuff on
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Search the Roof Strategist anywhere there's internet. You'll find YouTube, podcast, Instagram, TikTok. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Adam Bensman, Facebook, Adam Bensman. And if you are new, I think my book should be required reading for every new salesperson. Get a copy now on Amazon, Audible, or Kindle. The Roofing Sales Survival Guide, How to Beat the Odds, Overcome Yourself, and Win Big.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for helping me sell my first roof.
Yeah, I'm pumped for you.